Here in my garage, you know how I got this car right here? Knowledge. Right now, the entire world is looking at their 2016 and saying, wow, that was maybe the best year of my life so far. And for me specifically, so many things changed. I started my YouTube channel that ended up getting 1 million subscribers. That became my full-time job. I moved to Cincinnati. I think I met my wife that year. So many glorious things happened. And then when I look at the last 10 years and I look at myself today, part of me feels like I didn't improve as much as I thought I would. I thought that gap from 2015 to 2016 would just be happening every single year. Like every year would be 2016. But then I thought, oh wait, in the last 10 years, I became a professional skateboarder. I hit 1 million subscribers on YouTube. I wrote and illustrated 4 children's books. I built a fitness habit that has me looking better than I ever have in my life. I got married, had a child, moved to Texas, lived in New York City for 5 years. I did a lot, but the truth is I could have actually accomplished a lot more and felt a lot less frantic doing so if I would have just focused on these 4 things, which if you do, the next 10 years will look significantly different than the last 10 years if you feel like you haven't made a lot of improvement. Number 1 is simple and quick. It's just tracking. How many things are you consistently seeing the improvement in when it comes to your fitness, when it comes to your money, your income, your job, your happiness? How many of these things are you actually tracking and keeping up with? If you do this, I bet you'll be surprised every single year to see how much you actually grow in each area. If you have a visual diagram, you can do it on your computer or you can write it out of just a day checked off for every single day that you accomplish a specific task that you have in front of you. You'll look at that in 10 years and be like, whoa, I showed up to the gym thousands of times in the 10 years. If you have daily pictures that show your progress, you're gonna see how much you've improved. If you keep all of your artwork in a folder with the dates on it, you can see every year how much better your skill set gets. I think the irony of tracking is that a lot of us actually feel kind of insecure, like we don't wanna look at the numbers because we feel like we're not living up to our full potential. Maybe we're not excited to see our bank account on a daily basis. But tracking is the thing that actually gets those numbers to improve. It gets your life to improve. So focus on tracking. That's number 1. And number 2, alongside that is compounding. The earlier you invest and the more consistent you invest, the better your future is going to be set up with anything, any skill, especially money. And I think we still underestimate skill. Being good at something. So many people lie about how their hacks led them to this, this, and this, and this. And they're actually tricking people, doing a disservice into thinking that, okay, well, maybe I just need to work hard at finding the hack rather than working hard at being good at something that provides value to others. It works a lot like investing. Let's say you're 65 years old, and from 25 years old to 35 years old, you invest $5,000 a year. If you just stop investing then and you get a 10% return for the next 30 years, that money will end up being $870,000. I think that's right. But if you start investing at 35 years old and you invest for 30 years, that's 20 more years, but you just started 10 years later, that money will end up being, I think, $610,000. So you'll get significantly less. You're investing the same amount of money for 30 years. That's 3 times longer. But just because you waited 10 extra years, that money at the end is significantly less. Starting early, doing it often, and doing it for a long time, there's a compounding effect with anything. So combined 2 and 1. What is the one thing to do today that will move the needle the most, the skill that you're trying to build, and then track that every single day to see how much you're improving in it. Number 3 is just energy. How do you have more energy in the day? And there's the simple ideas, obviously, sleeping well, 7 to 8 hours, eating well. I think people still underestimate what it is to not eat a lot of junk food throughout the day, especially with me. Sometimes I'll eat my snacks late at night, and I always wake up with a slight bit of like this fuzzy chest pain. And I think a lot of people have that. You feel so clear and good if you just try to eat well all the time and you try to avoid bad foods throughout. Also, exercise. It feels like this thing that destroys you in the day and makes you more sleepy, but for me, exercise gives me more energy throughout the day, depending on how I do it. If I really do a HIIT exercise and I'm burning everything, sure, I'll be tired. But exercising consistently gives me more energy throughout the day. The other thing is a little less obvious, but it's the law of momentum. It's starting a win in the morning and letting that expand to the rest of the day. So starting off as a person who feels like the kind of person who wins at everything. If you wake up and you make your bed, if you already have your clothes laid out, if you go straight into a set of push-ups, if you clean your kitchen, if you do things that are productive right off the bat, you're going to feel like that type of person, and that energy is going to carry throughout the day. So working out and keeping the health markers in check while simultaneously trying to have small wins throughout the day that lead to bigger wins. Also, my child is taking a nap right now. That's why I'm outside talking, because I don't want to wake her up. The last thing is trying to produce as much as you consume. The average person consumes like 4 hours a day. I think it's 2.5 hours on social media, and then like an hour and a half on watching the long form content, which I actually consider social media as well, like YouTube. That's 4 hours a day. Are you creating for 4 hours a day? Are you making something for people to see, or making something that helps your business, or creating in general? That's what we're meant to do as human beings. We're meant to create. Don't let people out there who are actually willing to create dictate how you feel, how you think, how you live your life. The amount of growth and change you'll see in your life if you actually start producing as much as you consume. If you produce for 4 hours a day, but if you can switch that and cut out 3 hours of the consumption, that's 3 extra hours to get things done, 3 extra hours to produce. Obviously, your life is going to look significantly different in 10 years. This is how all this works together. Number 3 and 4 are basically fixes that you can make right now. You fix your health habits, you fix your scrolling habits. This will immediately give you momentum and energy. It'll help you get in the gym easier. And this is where you can start working on that needle moving task, because you have the momentum and the energy to focus mainly on this one task. And then you track that task throughout the next 10 years. And if you're actually focused on one thing and you build a life around giving you energy to do that thing as much as possible, sky's the limit. This is sort of how I've lived my life so far, focusing on skateboarding that allowed me to be a professional skateboarder and make a living doing the thing I loved, and then starting a YouTube channel, focusing on that for 10 years, making a good living doing that. And now I'm focused more on product design in general, so showing up every single day and just making something with design, but also documenting the process, because honestly, I've gotten good at just filming the thing that I'm doing because I've worked on it for 10 years. So I have this compounding effect where a lot of things are coming together at this point, and I'm able to focus on doing the things I love the best way that I can do them. Hope this video helps. I'll see you in the next one.